A man by the name of Peter Drucker once stated, "The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said." Think about an ocean. When we see an ocean, all we see is the top. We don't see all the jellyfish, sharks, and other swimming creatures that lie beneath. All we see is a big blue blanket that covers the reality of the ocean in its entirety. Communication is a lot like an ocean because it's very easy to skim the surface and miss out on the depth of what it really is. In my interpersonal communications class, I have learned that communication is a lot more involved than a simple shoot the arrow at the target deal. Communication involves a transactional process where the sender and receiver of the message take into context their surroundings and interpret the message based on verbal and nonverbal cues. Meanings exist in and among people, so the better you know and understand a person, the more you can adapt to their communication skill level and limit misunderstandings. One way to be an effective communicator is to take on the other person's perspective. When you are able to see things from the other person's view and empathize with them, then you have a much better chance of establishing competent communication that is appropriate. In other words, it enhances your relationships. I have seen this concept play out in my own life when I notice my best friend Samantha is hurting, and instead of listening to her critically with the intent of offering advice, I instead take a more relational listening approach that allows me to experience emotional contagion. This is where I start to feel what she is feeling, and this not only brings us closer, but it helps me communicate my genuine concern and empathy for her situation. I hope to apply what I have learned in this course to my future career as an English language arts teacher as well. As a teacher, I'm going to have to cover a wide range of lessons in a short amount of time. Therefore, the level of depth of certain lessons may not match up with the breadth of material covered. This reminds me of the social penetration model that says the most intimate relationships are those in which disclosure is great in both depth and breadth. While this model has more to do with expressing your own feelings in a relationship, I think it can also be applied to teaching in the sense that breadth plus depth equals effective learning. Communicating is one of the things I believe we were all created to do. We have this natural inclination to form relationships, and who doesn't want to be good at that? This is why interpersonal communication is so important. It impacts our entire lives. How we communicate can affect our friendships, families, marriages, and careers. And communication is not simply a verbal conversation. It involves nonverbal cues, perceiving others, and even listening skills. When you think about it, you never stop communicating. Even while you sit there and listen to this video, you are communicating a message. As you can see, communication goes deeper than the surface. It is an ocean to be considered in its entirety, and once you learn how to swim, the deeper and farther you can go. So don't shrink back and settle for miscommunication. Like all things in life, getting good at communicating takes practice, so don't be afraid to get out there and start.